Hello, and welcome to Georgia Connections Academy. My name is Marla Bowie, and I am the Director of Federal Programs and Community Engagement. I am so excited to be your host for the 2021 Parent and Student Orientation. This orientation is designed to make sure that you, as a caretaker, and the student know exactly what to expect before you start in your lessons. It is so important that you pay close attention to the information that's listed here in this presentation so that your student can be successful during this 2021-2022 school year. We're going to start off with a quick video from our Executive Director, Brasilia Page.
Welcome to Georgia Connections Academy, or what we affectionately call ourselves, GACA. Thank you for taking the first step to ensuring your student transitions successfully into virtual education. Georgia Connections Academy is a public, virtual state charter school that is authorized by the State Charter School Commission. As a state charter school, we are able to educate students from the northern mountains of LJ to the southern coast of Tybee Island. We are able to do this because GACA's classroom is not limited to the walls of a brick and mortar school. Rather, we leverage an education management system to serve as our schoolhouse. An important takeaway here is that while students are completing their schoolwork at home, GACA is not considered a homeschool program. Here are a few of the differences between a homeschool program and Georgia Connections Academy, a public school. Georgia's homeschool study program law requires that parents decide which curriculum is best for their child and then purchase the curriculum on their own. GACA is a free public state charter school and implements curriculum aligned with the Georgia Standards of Excellence. Georgia's homeschool study program law requires that students in home study programs complete an appropriate nationally standardized testing program. The student must be evaluated at least every 3 years beginning at the end of the 3rd grade. Students enrolled at GACA are required to complete all state mandated assessments to include end of grade and end of course Georgia milestone assessments. Georgia's homeschool study program law does not require parents to submit attendance records. GACA has a performance-based attendance policy and requires students to submit lessons daily, and parents are expected to record attendance daily. That is verified by lesson completion. Another important aspect of GACA is the community we build around students to ensure their success. The learning triad is a representation of the communication link between the student, learning coach, and teacher. If one component is missing, then students are less likely to be successful. I always say, parents choose GACA because they no longer want to be a bystander in their students' educational journey. Rather, they want to be an integral part of the plan and more engaged. I am proud to say that you chose a school that has set the standard in virtual education. GACA is the first and only virtual school in Georgia to be designated a Beating the Odds school. And we continue to strive to meet and exceed academic expectations. We do this by providing various programs to ensure students reach their full potential. Here are just a few of the programs and student activities GACA offers. The GACA STEAM Academy, dual enrollment, response to intervention instruction, special education program, AP courses, student council, National Honor Society, Beta Club and Junior Beta, career and technology elective program, and a host of many other clubs, honor societies, and organizations. Additionally, GACA does a great job ensuring we educate the whole student. GACA offers 6 to 8 in-person field trips per month to ensure students are engaging socially and have experiential learning moments. Furthermore, GACA offers students an opportunity to participate in many school milestones to include both prom and graduation. The first year of virtual education can be challenging because it is different from the traditional brick and mortar school, and both you and your student will have to learn how to navigate your new roles as a learning coach and a virtual student. However, you are setting your student up for success because of the time you are taking to ensure you are prepared as a learning coach. Please ask questions and give yourself grace. We are here for you, and I am excited to welcome you to our GACA family.
We are indeed excited to have you. Thank you so much for joining us in this session. Yes, it is definitely mandatory and a part of your course, but it does mean so much to us to have you guys here to learn more about Georgia Connections Academy. So I want to take a moment to talk about the difference between brick and mortar versus virtual. Many of you may be coming from a digital learning experience, and some of you may even have had the brick and mortar experience. Taking the time to break this down helps you to see ways in which we are similar, but how we are also very different and unique. So, in a brick and mortar setting, you would arrive to school every single day. At Georgia Connections Academy, arriving to school means logging into Connexus and completing your lessons. The bell schedule determines your daily schedule. There will be no bells in your house ringing unless you set them yourself. You are the decider of what time you'll start your day. You decide what time you do language arts. You decide what time you do mathematics. As a learning coach and as a student, you all come together to have that discussion about what should we do first? How are we going to plan out our week? The school day ends at the final bell. You decide when you are going to be done with your day. You can be done with your day as soon as 2 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock, or maybe even 6 o'clock in the evening, depending on what time you started. But you're done when all of your lessons are completed. The attendance in a brick and mortar school is actually logged by the teacher. At GACA, the learning coach is responsible for logging attendance. The learning coach takes into account how many lessons the student has completed and therefore logs the hours that the student has completed. We'll talk more about that later. Attendance is also showing up to the building. Here at GACA, attendance is actually completing the lessons that are on your planner. The number of lessons may range from 4 to 6, maybe even 7 on any given day. Your job as a student is to complete those lessons as they appear on your planner. Skipping school could be as easy as not showing up to a class or not even going to school that day. Skipping school in the virtual environment looks like not completing the lessons that are on your planner. So be sure to end every single day with all of your lessons completed. If you need help, you'd simply raise your hand and the teacher would come and answer any questions that you have. Here at GACA, you have to show up to live help time to get the assistance that you need. State testing is completed at the school in a brick and mortar setting. At Georgia Connections Academy, state testing is completed in person and it is very much so mandatory. Students who sign up to participate and are enrolled at Georgia Connections Academy are also saying, I will be in person to test for state testing. That is a requirement because we are a public school. So make sure that you understand that in April and May, when we have our milestones assessments, our students are required to show up in person. Our in-person sites may be a university or a technical college. We've even rented out hotel conference rooms or ballrooms to make sure that we are able to assess our students. We will let you know when, we will let you know where you are going to be testing at least a month in advance. But again, testing is mandatory and there are no opt-out options. The due dates for the school year are set by the teacher in a brick and mortar setting. Here at GACA, you get to see that on the very first day of your classes. You get to see when your tests are, when is your portfolio due, all on the first day. There's no more guessing. When is my test or when is my quiz? You'll get to see it on your planner. You'll know when every test is, every project, and all of that will be assigned to you on the very first day when you start your classes. If there are any announcements about assignments, that will happen in our planner, the assignment tracker, or the message board. And your classroom teachers have information on how and where to find those details. Homework is given almost every day in a brick and mortar setting. Here at Georgia Connections Academy, we don't really give out homework. Homework will be any lesson that the student has not completed on their planner for that day. In a brick and mortar setting, the teacher verifies that the student completed their work. The learning coach is actually going to approve the lessons and verify completion. Notice I did not say check for accuracy. The learning coach is just responsible for making sure that the student is working at their best ability and that the student is submitting the work in a timely manner. If there are notes that the teacher wants to send, they would send those notes home through the student. Here at Georgia Connections Academy, we use webmail. Webmail is our form of communication for our families to stay in the loop of what's going on. We also use a program called Parent Square. So please be on the lookout for access to Parent Square so you can get the latest information on events that we offer here at our school. Meet the Teacher probably happens in person for most of our brick and mortar schools. We do what's called a welcome call. That's where our homeroom teachers call the families to introduce themselves as the homeroom teacher for the school year. Your students will need to talk to their homeroom teacher for that welcome call, as well as the caretaker. There are ways that you can sign up for that, so please check your webmail for more information. Here is a video about roles and responsibilities from our compliance director, Taylor Kazaya.
Hello, my name is Taylor Kazaya, and I'm the Director of Compliance at Georgia Connections Academy. We are so thrilled you have joined us for parent orientation, as this is a crucial part of becoming a learning coach and virtual student. Today, I will be speaking to you about accountability and about the importance of communication and the various roles at our school. I would first like to highlight the various ways we have for students to communicate with our teachers. Every single month, your student will be required to have a mandatory homeroom phone call with their homeroom teacher. We encourage parents to be available for these phone calls if they are able, but it is mandatory for your student to speak with their teachers each and every month. During this call, your teachers will be checking in on grades, progress, safety, welfare, and a host of other things. This will be a great opportunity for you to form relationships with your teacher and also to get any help that you need. We also have live teacher time. During live teacher time, your student has the opportunity to drop into live lesson and ask their teacher questions. This live teacher time happens 4 days a week at 11 o'clock and exists solely for the purpose of one-on-one help, asking questions, tutoring, etc. This differs from our live lessons, which are scheduled lessons taught by your instructors once per week per course. We also use a system known as webmail. This is our internal email system where you can get a response from your teachers. We encourage you to use that live teacher time office hours for immediate assistance. Each teacher will also have a message board. On the interactive message board, you will find a variety of helpful tools for you. This includes information about portfolios, grade improvement, live lesson recordings that you may have missed, assignment trackers, course syllabus, and a host of resources for your school. We also offer newsletters for each school level. Both high school and lower school post important information on these newsletters. As you can see, communication in a virtual school is essential. This is especially important for students who are struggling or who have questions for their teachers. Unlike in a brick and mortar school where your student can simply raise their hand to ask a question, at Georgia Connections Academy, we ask students to reach out through one of these communication methods in order to receive the help that they need. Today, we also want to talk about accountability. Students at our school are required to log into Connexus and complete lessons Monday through Friday. Attendance will be entered by the caretaker, but this attendance must be verified with lesson completion. Your students should be completing the lessons that are assigned to them each day on their student planner, as well as any interventions that are assigned in outside platforms. We do put in temporary zeros for late assignments. Students have the opportunity to make up these zeros, but it will be a good indicator of where your student's grade would be if they chose not to complete that assignment. We also have mandatory quarterly benchmarks for your student to complete to help us measure mastery and prepare them for state milestones. Finally, there are mandatory due dates for selected assessments, wherein there will be a grade penalty if the assignment is not turned in on time. We take accountability very seriously at Georgia Connections Academy as we want to ensure the success of all students. It is important that you as a learning coach are verifying and checking lesson completion each and every day and entering attendance according to that lesson completion. Any day where attendance cannot be verified will be marked as an unexcused absence. We do have a strict truancy policy at Georgia Connections Academy, and failure to complete daily lessons could end up in administrative withdrawal for your student. Now we're going to switch gears and discuss learning coach responsibilities. We ask that our learning coaches have a weekly planning meeting with their student to determine which pacing they should be using and make sure they can stay on pace with their lessons each week. We ask our learning coaches to log in each day, check their webmail, check your students' grades, approve lessons that have come to your caretaker page as pending approval, and log attendance for your student. Please note that every Connexus lesson your student completes will come to your caretaker or learning coach page so that you're aware of what your student did each day. We ask you to stay in regular communication with our staff and teachers, as we often have vital information to share with our learning coaches. We also ask that you monitor the learning environment. It's important that your student have a quiet area where they can work and remain focused on schoolwork, and that they have a school schedule that they're following each and every day. We like for you to help your student establish a routine for their schoolwork, remembering that your job is now to focus on the learning environment at home. Finally, we ask that our caretakers and learning coaches be responsive. We'll send many invitations to meetings, webmails, teacher contact requests, and your responsiveness is essential for the success of your student. There are also certain student responsibilities that are important. As we mentioned before, students, you should plan to have a weekly meeting with your learning coach to make sure you have a plan for the week. We ask that you log in each day and complete all lessons that are assigned to you, making sure that you have 0 overdue lessons at the end of each week. You should plan to attend your live lessons with your teachers, which will show up on your planner and is a set schedule each week. We also want to encourage you to reach out for help. Remember that we have live teacher time, phone calls, and webmails for you to be able to contact your teacher. We ask that you maintain 0 overdue lessons each week so that you can stay on pace and ensure that you finish on time. And also, responsiveness is essential for you as well, students. We need you to respond to teacher webmails, answer the phones when they call, and also be aware of your current grades. Remember that you can resubmit any low-graded assignment per your teacher's instructions, but you must be paying attention to gradebook feedback. Finally, we also hold our teachers accountable. Teachers will be returning your webmails frequently. They will stay up to date on their grading. They will be delivering live lesson instruction at least once per week and be available for live teacher time 4 times per week. They will also each be making homeroom phone calls to you at least once per month, as well as calling the students that they teach in their various content courses. They also will provide remediation and grade improvement opportunities, which they will update on their message boards. At Georgia Connections Academy, the triangle model of learning coach, student, and teacher is essential for student success. Accountability ensures that our students will remain on pace and are able to be successful at the end of each semester. We appreciate your taking your time to attend this parent orientation session today.
Again, thank you so much. We are so happy to answer any questions that you all may have. Please sure that you write down any questions that you have so that when you are on the phone with your homeroom teacher, they can address any of those questions during your welcome call. So now let's jump right into the planner. Your student is going to be so excited to start school once you all finish getting started, and I want to share with you exactly what they're going to be looking for. When they log in, every learning coach, every student has the same type of setup for their homepage. Everyone has this dashboard that includes home, planner, virtual library, and more. Your student will be logging in to look at their planner every single day. And the planner can be viewed in three different ways. You can view it in a day view, a week view, and even in the month view. Students are looking at their planner to see what lessons fall on which day. We have lessons that appear again 4 times, maybe 7 times a day. So you'll see the lessons as they appear on the planner. Every lesson has an icon, and that icon lets you know exactly what kind of lesson it is. You will see lessons that look like this, or icons that look like this, that indicate a quiz. Lessons with a T indicate a test. Icons with a P and a folder indicate a portfolio. Anytime you see a quiz, a test, or a portfolio, you want to make sure that you are ready for that before it comes on your planner. You need to prepare in advance, just as Taylor just mentioned. Taking the time on the weekend to prepare for what's coming up next is so essential because you don't have someone that's reminding you that you have a test coming up in 2 days or that you have a project that's due at the end of next week. It's your job to look at the planner and plan out your schedule. So please make sure you pay attention to the planner in advance to know what's coming up. Lessons that are bolded are lessons that have not been completed by the student. Lessons that have been completed by the student and have been marked complete by the student will show as pending complete, just with this icon with a check mark, and there's a circle with a P inside that you really can't see. Lessons that have a bold green check mark are lessons that have been completed by the student, submitted to the caretaker to complete or to check off for final completion. We do get questions all the time where students say, well, I completed my lesson and I sent it, but my learning coach has not checked it off, so I cannot move forward in my lesson. Well, that's not true. You definitely can go on as soon as you mark that lesson complete. If you do not complete all the components in a lesson, for example, this Algebra 2 lesson has 1, 2, 3 different assignments attached. In order to mark this lesson complete, all 3 have to be completed. So please make sure that you look for the icons before you start your lesson so that you know exactly what you need to tackle within the day. Now, real quick, while I'm here at the planner, I want to talk a little bit about attendance and then I'll elaborate a little bit later. With attendance, you're looking for how many lessons are marked complete. As Ms. Keziah mentioned earlier, lessons are marked complete, and that will equate to the amount of hours that the student logs for attendance. So the student has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lessons listed here on their planner for Friday. If the student completes all 5 lessons, if this is a student in grades 6 through 12, they will be able to log 6 hours because the goal is to ensure that you have 28 hours a week, which means you want to average about 6 hours a day for attendance. If the student does not complete all of their lessons, you're only going to provide hours for the amount of lessons that that student completed. So here, if the student completed 1, 2, 3 lessons, then that person would only log, or the caretaker would only log 3 hours for that particular day. Again, if the student completes all the lessons on the planner, they're able to log 6. If they're not completing all the lessons on the planner, you only log the number of hours that the student completed the lessons. So however many lessons that that student completed, that will equate to the number of hours. I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a few. Now, looking at the Learning Coach homepage, This is where you actually go to record attendance, as well as check for lessons complete. You'll see the number of lessons pending complete show up right underneath record attendance. This is also where you go to check on your students' progress. You can check their grade book, their planner, and their data views all from your homepage. You can see the overall score of your student and if they're in escalation, which doesn't really turn on to September, so we'll talk about that in Parent Survivor. This is where you check your webmail. We do not communicate to our families outside of webmail. So please make sure that you're logging in to check your webmail every single day. Also, your student has their own username and password. Students should not use the Learning Coach account to complete their lessons. Students should use their own username and password every single day when they log into Connexus. If you don't know your student's password or their username, you can start by coming over here to this eye next to your name on your Learning Coach homepage. That is called your data view. When you click on that blue box, the data view list will open up for you. If you start to type in the filter box, student account access, you will be able to find your student's username. Once you find the username, you can go to www.connexus.com, and when it asks you to log in, just click Forgot Password. It will then ask you to insert the username for your student, and it will send an email to the account that your email is addressed to. And it will send you an email based on what you have in Connexus and send you the directions for signing up for your student's account information to get their password. That is so important because in order for your student to complete their lessons, they have to be logged into their account. Now back to attendance. You can tell that that's a very serious topic. Yes, it is. Again, recording attendance should be completed in conjunction with marking lessons complete to accurately monitor student progress. It's not just based on the number of hours that your student works, but it's also in coordination with how many lessons your student is actually completing. Again, the average time for fifth grade is 5 hours a day because our fifth graders need 25 hours a week for their attendance. 6th through 12th grade have a 6 hours a day average because they need 28 hours a week. When a student does not complete lessons, you're going to log it as a 0. Now, why would a student not complete lessons? Maybe you're going on vacation and you want to take an early break and you don't want to use a vacation day. Can you log 0 then? Absolutely. You do have vacation days, and your homeroom teacher can definitely let you know how many vacation days you have. But please keep in mind that the vacation days coincide with the school's vacation days. So if you're using different alternative days for your vacation days, just keep in mind that that means that you'll be working during the time that our school is actually on vacation. But also reasons that you would log 0 hours. Maybe your student is not feeling well that particular day and they're not sick enough to really go to the doctor for a doctor's note, but they can work over the weekend to catch up or over the next couple of days. You just want to log 0 any day that the student has not completed any lessons. When the student completes lessons, you want to log the amount of hours based on the amount of lessons that the student completed. Students are expected to work Monday through Friday as their lessons appear on the planner, but there is flexibility. If you do need flexibility, please reach out to your homeroom teacher. If you are sick and your student goes to the doctor and there is a doctor's excuse, please provide that notice to your homeroom teacher so that our teachers can update their attendance with the excused absence. Failure to complete any work and not log 0 will result in an unexcused absence. Navigating the student homepage. Like I said before, The Learning Coach homepage and the student homepage look very similar. All of our homepages have that same dashboard. This time, your student will be able to access their planner from their homepage. Remember, caretakers don't have lessons, so when you click on Planner from the Learning Coach homepage, you will not be able to see the planner. But the student will be able to see their courses and lessons on the planner when they click here. Also, students will be able to see if they are in alarm for any reason. Again, we'll discuss that in Parent Survivor in September. Our mail is also going to go to our students. So it is very important that our students are also checking their web mail every single day. And communication with their teachers will be easy because they have all of the contact information that they need for their teachers right on their homepage. You will be able to easily webmail your teacher from the student homepage by clicking on the rectangular box with the envelope with the teacher's name. All of the teachers that your students have will be listed under the courses page. So if you're not sure who your student has, or who your teachers are, you can always go to your courses. There will be a picture, the name of the course, and then the contact information for your teacher. Again, webmail will be listed, their phone number will also be listed, and then you have a direct link to their live lesson room right on your homepage. So you do not have to guess where the links are to access the live lesson classes or live help time. That's really cool. Never looking for a link. So this is a time for you to stop and discuss. You will pause, talk to your student or talk to your learning coach, and answer these questions. So, Bill has a tournament scheduled for Friday. When should he work? Pause your video and discuss. If you said that Bill should complete his work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday in order to be able to take off on Friday, you are correct. You also are correct if you said that Bill should complete any missing assignments for Friday on Saturday and Sunday. Here's another question. Georgia planned to work on her roller coaster project over the weekend since it was due last Friday, but a family emergency disrupted her plan. It's now Monday. What should she do? Pause the video and reflect. If you said Georgia should reach out to her teacher immediately and ask for extended time, or if you said that Georgia should complete her assignment and turn it in ASAP, you're correct. Reaching out to the teacher is very essential so that you are staying in communication with your teacher and so that your teacher knows exactly where you are and can provide support as needed. Also, going ahead and completing the project will allow Georgia to stay on track with her lessons, because if this was due this past Friday and she still has not done it and it's Monday, that now means she's a day late for lessons that need to be completed. So the more she waits to submit the project, the more overdue lessons that she ends up accumulating. This is a great question that I love to see if you were listening during the attendance piece. Jasmine told her learning coach that she worked 6 hours, but when marking lessons complete, it appears that she's only completed 3 lessons. What should her learning coach record? Pause the video and reflect. If you said that Jasmine's learning coach should record 3 hours, you're correct. If Jasmine had 6 lessons on her planner or even 5 lessons on her planner and she told her learning coach that she worked 6 hours, because she only completed 3 lessons, Jasmine's learning coach can only record 3 hours of attendance. Now, Jasmine can work more on the upcoming days and add those additional hours to the daily hours of attendance, or she can work over the weekend to completely catch up and log those hours on Saturday or Sunday. Great job. Now we'll talk about the big idea. Now we'll discuss the big idea. Today we're going to talk about how virtual school is different, roles of the parent changes in the virtual environment, weekly planning sessions, the parent and student survivor sessions that we'll offer, and Learning Coach Central. It is important for the student, the teacher, and caretaker to remain connected so that the student remains successful throughout the school year. We understand that coming to a virtual environment can be challenging. It is very different from your brick and mortar experience, and we want to set you up for success. And the way that we'll do that is we're going to provide you support. Understanding that virtual school is different is half the battle. The learning coach is the parent. So, whoever's responsible for making sure that the student is doing their work is what we call the learning coach. You are not expected to be the teacher. Your student will have several teachers that will support them in the academic process. Your job is to make sure that your student has everything that they need in order to be successful, and you're supporting them with the resources that we provide to your student. The learning coach is highly involved. You are logging into Connexus every single day. You are ensuring that your student is logging into Connexus every single day. Communication is necessary. Because we don't get to see your student face to face, we must talk to them on the phone. They must attend their live lessons so that they can ask questions and get real time feedback and support that they need in order to show success in their lessons. Attendance is based on lessons completed. That is completely different than what you experience in a brick and mortar setting. Students would go into their classroom, and that is how they were marked for attendance. Here, students must complete their work. And in order for them to be successful with completing their work, you have to be engaged and involved in the learning process. And that requires you all to get together on either a Saturday or a Sunday before the week starts and have what we call the weekly planning sessions. This allows you to create what we call a work life balance for your student, making sure that they know exactly what's on their planner, how many lessons they have, if they have quizzes coming up, is there a portfolio that's due. It's important to know that before you launch into the week. Your student was going to a brick and mortar school, meeting with a teacher, and they were preparing them for the assignment or the project that was due in 2 or 3 weeks. That information is going to be on your Connexus planner or in Schoology or the assignment tracker. And it will require you as a caretaker to look at those things and be prepared to set your student up for success, making sure that they're taking time to add those specific details and moments to work on those assignments into their planner. Adding that on their personal planner will aid in successful completion and an on time completion of the assignment. We want to make sure that you are using the planner, whether it's an academic handheld paper written planner or a digital planner. But it is important that as a family, you all come together and work on what that week is going to look like for your student. And then join us for in person learning sessions and field trips and plan to work around those particular in house things that we offer. We are a real school. Sometimes schools look at us as an alternative school. We are not. Sometimes people look at us as a fake school. We are not. We are a real school. And everything that you do here will follow you on your academic journey to college or to a career field or to the Army or Navy or whatever you choose for yourself. Connecting online helps you join with your peers and grow in the learning process. Make sure that you ask for help when you need it. Go to live lesson, go to live help time, and get the support that you need. Activities that promote student and learning coach engagement are what we call our parent survivor sessions and our student survivor sessions. We'll talk about Connexus, We'll plan for portfolios. We'll talk about mathematics survival. We have social and emotional learning taking place, technology support, and community support. We want you to have all the resources and tools at your fingertips, and we will provide this on a weekly basis in the months of August and September. We will start as early as August 10th, and we will meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays will be for lower school, and Thursdays will be for high school. Please plan to join us for these sessions. Trust us. You can do this. Say it with me. I can do this. Ready? I can do this. Whether you're the learning coach or the student, you can do it. Why? Because we are here to support and to help you. Remember, Learning Coach Central is your friend, and you will also have an opportunity to refer back to the resources that we are sharing with you today if you forget anything. So, we cannot get to success without you. We need the learning coaches to be highly involved and engaged, and we need our students to be highly involved and engaged. We are better together. So, I'll take you on a quick journey to Learning Coach Central. This is the place where you can log in and get support. You will find this information on your homepage under links. Once you go to links, you will see a link for Learning Coach Central. Here is the tech support number if you ever have any technical difficulties. And if you're a new learning coach, there are resources here for you. You can talk about getting started. If you need learning coach orientation, which is different than what you're doing today, as you can see, there are a variety of orientations here. If you need support with the planner or the scheduler, we don't use the scheduler here at GACA, but you can use these resources. Do you need help with planning and organization? Coaching more than one student? Here's how you manage multiple students. If you need resources for daily tasks, here are some resources that you can use at your fingertips. Again, all of this is right on your Learning Coach homepage. Success series. There are series and recordings, and this will change as the new year starts. And if you need helpful links and resources, again, math, English, academic integrity, staying connected, and assessments, these are all here for you at your fingertips. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We are here to support you, and we cannot wait to see the success of your student at the end of the school year. Have an amazing day. That's right. We definitely cannot wait to see the success of your student. Again, this Getting Started course was really designed to make sure that your student was set up for success for the school year. So I'm going to wrap up this session so that your student can get access to their classes. Make sure that you've completed Getting Started and all the components to Getting Started. Look out for communication about parent and student survivor. Begin working right away. Please do not wait for textbooks. Please do not wait for a call from your teacher. There will be no pep rally. There will be no bells ringing. There will be no morning assembly for you to start school. When you get your lessons on your planner, start working right away. Be on the lookout for information regarding benchmark information. Make sure that you have your separate user accounts. Students have their own, caretakers have their own. If you do not know how to get your students login, if you cannot remember what I just shared with you about that blue box on your homepage, call the 1-800 number. They are here to help and support you in any way you can. If you're having issues with Zoom or any issues with any links, call this 1-800 number and they can help you. Also, it is so important to make sure that you want any individual that should talk to a teacher or a staff member about your student. Please have them listed as a learning coach or a caretaker on your account. You must call this 1-800 number 382-6010 in order to get that student listed, or sorry, in order to get that caretaker listed on the student's account. If we do not see them listed as a caretaker or a learning coach, we cannot talk to them about student progress. So please make sure that you make time to do that if you have anyone that you want to be a caretaker or a learning coach. Familiarize yourself with Connexus. Start completing the student story data view. That is also a part of getting started. You can click on links, then you want to go to data views, and then you'll go to filter, and you'll filter for student story. Click on student story, and there are questions for your student to complete about who they are, what they like, what they love, and share that with us so that we can get to know them better. Complete your to-do list items ASAP. Remember, school has already started, so it's really imperative that you knock these things out and get them done so that your student can focus their time on their lessons. Sign off on honor code. Make sure that you've completed your student and parent or student and learning coach orientation. And then the student success series videos, make sure you sign up for those. Remember, learning coaches, Learning Coach Central is on your homepage. If you have any questions, go and look for any material that's in there that might support you. Welcome calls have already started. Make sure that you and your student are on the lookout for any calls that you may not be familiar with. Also, check your webmail because most teachers are actually asking you for a great time to contact you to speak to the student and the caretaker at the same time. Survivor sessions are offered in August and September. So please be on the lookout for a webmail to sign up for that. And then resources will be sent by the end of the week just to kind of give you an overview of what you just listened to and read. But remember, you can do this. You guys are amazing. We're so happy to have you. And most of all, we're here to support you. Have an amazing year and great success. Bye, guys.